What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Keeping Tabs. I'm your host, Tabitha, aka Tabs, your spot for sports, WWE, and pop culture buzz. I'm so sorry we missed a week of episodes, but we're back, baby. Episode 7, here we go. Today, we're going to be kicking off today's episode with talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, because that shit was juicy. So let's dive right on into it, guys. So I got my little notes out here today, so if I'm looking down a lot, it's because I just didn't want to do it on my computer. I wanted to have physical notes to actually hold, and I highlighted some stuff for you guys because there was a lot of stuff going on, man. I've got like 5 pages of notes. So strap in and let's go. So starting off, I just want to talk about the seating chart real quick of the reunion. So imagine I'm Andy Cohen. So to my right would be Angie K, and then Mary Cosby on her side, and then Brodwin, and then Whitney Rose on the end. And then to the left of Andy was Lisa Barlow, Queen Lisa, Heather Gay, Meredith Marks, and then when Brittany comes in at the end in part 3, she's on the very end of that side. But overall, guys, this reunion was action-packed. I mean, from the get-go, Andy was like, all right, because obviously he has Angie K and Lisa on either side of him, who had probably the most beef they had the most beef this season. That's why they're first chair on either side of Andy. Honestly, to be on the first side of Andy, whether it's left or right of him, to be the closest to Andy is like an honor in the Bravo world. So I'm sure both of them were very, very happy about that. I mean, from the get-go, Andy's like, all right, guys, we need a safe word because my ears, I'm already scared for them because both of the ladies next to him all of them are very loud ladies. You know, they're very passionate and want to defend themselves, but having Angie and Lisa on either side of him the closest is insane. So they created safe words. Lisa Barlow chose besos, which is Spanish for kisses, apparently. And then Angie chose opa because, of course, she's Greek and she'll take any opportunity to let you know she is Greek. So right off the rip of the reunion, though, Angie K is basically celebrating her elevation because if you remember, Angie K is not an OG housewife for Salt Lake. She, comes in season 4, it was her first season, right? Or was it season 3? I can't remember, but I think season 4 was her first full-time season. Anyways, that's besides the point, but she's happy, and especially to be right next to Andy again, she's very happy to be at the, highlight of everything. She wants to be the center of attention, basically. I mean, so does Lisa Barlow, but who's surprised there? So basically, I'm just going to run through each part, and I have it broken down a little bit, but we'll run through each part of the reunion. So starting off with part 1, obviously, one of the main issues we talked about was Whitney Rose versus Lisa Barlow, the whole jewelry thing. Obviously, we got to talk about the Up and Adam guy, that podcaster, YouTuber guy. I mean, I follow you on TikTok, dude, but why are you interjecting yourself into this stupid shit? Because you were wrong too. You were the part of the problem. And I see a lot of people online that don't like you anymore. So I don't really like your stuff anymore. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Because why are you you're not a housewife of Salt Lake City. You don't need to interject yourself. I mean, Whitney defends herself. Obviously, she says, her stuff is real, her jewelry is real, it's meaningful, it's, all that good stuff. So another thing they talked about was Angie's criticism of Lisa's parenting. They have Angie K and Lisa, they just have been issues all the time, man. The thing is that I swear every new cast member they bring in is Lisa's friend, and then it's like they're not really that much of friends because Lisa was Angie K's friend, and now they're not really friends. And then obviously Brodwin was allegedly Lisa's friends, but they don't seem like they're friends either, so I don't really know. It's a weird friendship. It's obviously a very, showy, social friendship. Okay, we're on a show together, so we have to act like this for a little bit while we film, and then I guarantee you when they are not filming, none of these women hang out. None of them. Maybe Mary and Angie K. I definitely see those two hanging out when they're not filming. But everyone else, fuck no. Meredith Marks lives in New York, which good for you, girl. Go do your thing. But none of these people actually like each other. It's kind of how Vanderpump. That's why Vanderpump died, because nobody likes each other. That's why they had to recast. Nobody wanted to film with each other. Other topics were, they were talking about Brodwin and her daughter Gwen, and how Gwen's father had passed away, and somehow Lisa Barlow knew that family, and of course Lisa's gonna talk her shit and act like she knows everything, even though she doesn't. I think Brodwin finally realized when all that stuff with Gwen and Lisa and the family was going down that Lisa's really, like, really, really not my friend anymore. Like, she was really not a good friend from the start, but they're just, like, social friends, like I said. They're only there because they're filming a show. She's like, hey, I'll get you a show, but, like, make me look good type shit. But I'm going to be honest. Lisa, I love Lisa. She is iconic, but she is a terrible friend. She doesn't care about anybody but herself at the end of the day. It's all about Lisa. She loves herself. She's only loyal to Lisa. Say hi. Yeah. Say hi. But if you're not a follower of the after show, because basically they do an after show, you know, where they rewatch the episode and talk about it. So that's basically where that issue comes from, though. Lisa was talking about Gwen on the after show, which, dude, just leave the kids out of it. Leave the kids out of it. Don't let them, like, it's just about the women. Like, that's why the husbands try to stay out of it. Leave the kids out of it. You don't need to talk about the kids. And then one of the questions that Andy asked Brodwin was it disappointing for you to come on the show as Lisa's friend only for her to turn on you? I mean, like, of course, dude. Like I said, Lisa brought her in, but then was a complete asshole to her 95% of the season. Brodwin responds with, I think I feel differently now. At the time, I definitely felt like you were not being a friend to me. I kept thinking something went wrong between Lisa and myself, but nothing actually went wrong. We were just not that good of friends, basically. Like I said, they really weren't. Like, Brodwin thought they were a lot closer than what they were, and Lisa kept her at arm's length at all time. So I feel for Brodwin, because I feel like that's one of Lisa's worst traits, is she does that to everyone. And, you know, like, we always thought her and Angie K were super close. We thought her and Meredith were close. Like, she's not actually close friends with any of these women. She just makes you think they are. I feel like her and Jen are similar in that aspect of, like, they can manipulate you very easily. Because remember, Heather lied for over a year about the black eye. And same thing, like, Heather still does the same thing with Lisa. She puts her on a pedestal, just like Brodwin was putting Brodwin was putting Lisa on a pedestal. Excuse me. Yeah, Lisa even confirms, like, we're not really good friends, and that they're really just social friends. I enjoy Brodwin, but we're definitely more social friends. That's the quote. We didn't tell each other our deepest, darkest secrets, but I've always thought highly of her, is what Lisa had said in the reunion. Speaking of Brodwin, Heather really never gave Brodwin a chance. They had their issue, you know, before that Palm Springs trip. I mean, of course, Brodwin's going to try to make it good to invite you on the trip. So, like, why would you bring someone you have issues with on a trip? But I didn't really like Heather's response. It was basically saying, oh, Brodwin, that was a move. It was a couple's trip. I never got invited. I was never going to go on that trip. She made it very clear from the jump that she didn't want to go on the trip. But I feel like Heather definitely wanted to go with, you know. It made sense why Brodwin wanted to clear the air. I think in reality, it was just Heather not wanting to kiss her ass. I think that's basically, at the end of the day, that's what happened. I think it was kind of a pointless fight, too. And then, of course, when Whitney is asked about how she feels about the whole Brodwin-Heather situation, she just plays Switzerland, because that's what Whitney does. She just plays Switzerland. She can't defend her friends. And then at the end of part one, the husbands join to where Todd has a pretty heated exchange with the Barlows. And basically, the husbands tell each other to watch each other's tone. That's basically it. It's not too crazy. And then going into part two of the reunion, the husbands are there to start. And that is when Todd addresses the allegations of the emotional affair Brodwin was bawling her eyes out about on that boat. Basically, she was overdramatic. Todd does not agree with her take on it. But again, who knows what actually happened? We don't have the text messages. I think their marriage is still weird. I think he's pretty controlling to her. It's literally deadass looks like a father-daughter relationship. It's kind of weird. We get another update on Meredith and Seth's marriage, because, of course, that's always a topic of conversation. Meredith basically says, whatever you guys want to think about our marriage, you can think about our marriage, but we are solid, we are good, even though Seth basically works in Ohio full-time and they only see each other on the weekends. Seth kind of explains it is like, it's good to have that distance throughout the week, and then each weekend it's like, it keeps the excitement and the spice alive in a way. And Todd actually interjects and agrees with him, because he works in New York most of the time and then comes home on the weekends to Brodwin in Salt Lake. I mean, outside of the season, Meredith lives in New York for the most part, so I feel like when they're not filming, it's actually easier for them to see each other. Then we talk about Mary and her son, Robert. That was probably my favorite part about the entire season, is us getting to see how vulnerable both of them were able to be on camera. Robert did go to do 30 days of rehab and was attending AA meetings. I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that he may have relapsed or gotten arrested for possession of something. I'm not sure if that was before or after he went to rehab. And then Meredith and Mary finally get to talk about their friendship and how things have changed. But at the end of it, they do hug it out and, they're all good. I love how vulnerable Mary had been this season. Honestly, was my favorite one this season. I think her just outlook on life had completely changed. I feel like everyone hated her the first few seasons or was scared of her in a way, and then her taking a break season 4 and then coming back for she was a little bit in season 4 as like a friends of, but to come back in season 5, she did an amazing job. Hats off to freaking Mary Cosby, girl. Meredith also does threaten to leave because of the whole she said type of situation between Monica, Angie, and all the rumors from last year. So let's get into it real quickly. Whitney did reach out to Monica to confirm some things. If you remember in season 4, the rumors of Angie K's husband Sean about how he was fucking men apparently. There's 2 different quotes that they kind of got confused. So the first one is Monica saying she heard it from Meredith, which was incorrect. So she corrected herself on the second one saying, no, I didn't hear it from Meredith. I heard it from the Salt Lake streets. So there was some clarification, which was good. But Meredith was like, if you guys don't confirm it right now, I'm going to leave. So it was like, oh my God, chill out. Hold on. We gotta make sure we're getting it correct. Part 2 of the reunion ends in that kind of heated moment with Meredith, and then of course she just sits right back down. So going into part 3 of the reunion, they bring in Brittany, of course. We gotta talk about the whole recording stuff because that was one of the biggest points at the end of the season. The reunion concluded with Brittany facing accusations from Angie K about not being a true Mormon, basically saying her drinking and her premarital sex are not what she's not supposed to be doing that, obviously. Heather says that Brittany is living a double life, trying to present as such a good true Mormon, but yet behind the scenes she is drinking and having sex with Jared, because we know she admitted to having a physical relationship with him, and she broke down crying because she's shameful of it because she wants to be a good Mormon. But then why are you having sex with somebody? I don't know. But that is where Brittany did admit to recording everyone and obviously apologizes again. I will say in the moment in the van, I felt bad for her because they were going in at her. I mean, Meredith, Angie K, Lisa, like everyone was so heavy on her. I mean, I'm just scared of Meredith Marks, period. But to have everyone coming at me, holy shit. So props to you, Brittany, but like, girl, you almost cost your job there. And then also Meredith does say that she doesn't think Brittany is being honest most of the time. And that is when Brodwin comes in and reads a nasty DM she received from Jared. And basically is like, this is what the man you love said to me. You have to hear it. And she was like, oh, I heard it. And then it doesn't seem like she actually heard the real version of it. Because Andy was like, oh, I want to hear it. And Meredith was like, oh, yeah, read all. Or Mary was like, yeah, read it all, girl. But it was nasty, dude. It was nasty for sure. And Jared, you low-key a pussy, dude. But Brittany also claimed to be 100% broken up with Jared, even though apparently they were Instagram official. So as of February 2025, no idea what's going on with that girl. All I see is her TikToks are hilarious. And then, of course, they touched on Meredith and Brittany's issues in Mexico as well with the whole throwing up situation, which was just stupid. And then, of course, they talked about the text scene at the end of the finale where everyone read the meanest text about each other, trying to burn it. Biggest one of them all, Lisa and Whitney's situation going on. Lisa basically said, you guys have fucked me over so many times that she can't do it anymore. Like, she just gets so tired of it. But at the same time, Lisa, you kind of do the same shit to people sometimes, man. Like, you're not any better. I cannot forget to mention Meredith received a phone call from Jen Shaw from prison. And that begs the question, is that worse than what Whitney did with the whole Monica situation, reaching out to Monica? I don't know, because Jen was crazy. She traumatized y'all. She manipulated you guys for years and years and years to believe she was such a good person. And she lied and lied and lied until the very day of her trial. She was lying, saying she was innocent the whole time. But she knew she wasn't. So I don't know. Honestly, I think I'm on Whitney's side for the first time ever on that one. But to end the reunion, Andy had everyone say nice things about each other because Heather had everyone say horrible things about each other with that text message stuff. So it was a good way to end it off. And as they're all being nice to each other and, mending some things, Brittany's in the back because she's already been pulled off stage saying, I want some nice stuff said about me too. And she's like, it's not fair. I'm like, girl. So annoying, Loki. But overall, reunion was great. I'm definitely excited for another season. Hopefully, everyone returns. Hopefully, Brodwin returns. Hopefully, Meredith returns. And I would be totally fine if they added Brittany full time, honestly. She definitely added something to the season. She just needs to learn that when they say pull out a nasty text, pull out a nasty text. Alright guys, now for part 2, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite moments from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake season 5. There was obviously some really great moments. First off, Mary Crosby returning as a full-time cast member was 1,000,000,000% the best choice and the best thing to happen to this season. Her comedic relief was amazing this season. She even played mediator for the first time ever. She added so much and was so vulnerable and open with us. It was so amazing to see this side of Mary. I absolutely loved it, and I just hope her and wish her the best, and her and Robert Jr., hopefully he's getting better. We even had a moment where she was ziplining and then she was drinking a beer. Like, oh my God, what? And then, of course, we got to talk about Meredith's bat mitzvah. That was an amazing moment for Meredith, but Brodwin being mad at Angie K for telling her to shut the fuck up. Brittany was mad at Angie for calling her a slut. Mary and Meredith had their issues from the Audrey Hepburn kind of luncheon deal going on. So there was definitely some tension all around. Also, Angie K and Brodwin think that they owe each other apologies, so that was kind of funny and ironic. And then, of course, we get the scene where Angie is slut-shaming Brittany. She slut-shames her hair, her whole entire appearance. She calls her hair pornish. She even then goes in to say, that's high body count hair. You got high body count dress. Those are high body count heels. You think I'm a slut? You're a slut. I mean, that was definitely one of the best moments all season. Because it is Meredith's event. She hears wind of Angie basically slut-shaming Brittany, so she kicks her out. You need to leave. It's always a great moment. Oh yeah, you can leave, or you need to leave. Anytime Meredith raises her voice like that, and with the word leave, hilarious. 10 out of 10. Love it. Oh, of course, we got to talk about another iconic Lisa Barlow moment. The I don't fly coach. I don't buy coach. Oh, when she calls the security guy, she's like, I want to go the distance on this. Iconic. Oh, and then during the reunion, she's like, I'm friends with Emma, and she said you didn't buy anything, referring to Brodwin and that really expensive necklace and the earrings. Of course, she wants to try to interject herself and make Brodwin look like a dumbass. Another funny moment was when Brittany admitted to sleeping with Jared, and Mary is like, girl, we all knew that. Like, we've been on that. What you mean? Another hilarious moment that happened was the Lisa-themed dinner party, whatever it was, lunch. That was absolutely hilarious. And then, of course, the text messages were absolutely insane, just horrendous. I mean, one of my favorites. My favorite one was Angie K about Brodwin. Brodwin seems nice. I like her business plan, marrying a guy who has 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot on a banana peel. But I like mine better. I'd rather be self-made. She's nice, but she doesn't listen because her ears are stitched down to her face so tight and she can't hear anything. Her hot dog outfit reminds us she sucked her way to the top. Heather then read her message about Whitney calling her a low-life piece of shit. She sold her soul for fame and recognition. She's a snake. I should not have trusted her. I've been so stupid and loyal carrying her Wild Rose products, even though I never sold a fucking one. And that shit was crazy, but they ended up patching that up. And then, of course, we got to talk about Whitney text about Lisa Barlow. So I was at a party with Justin, and a woman approached us saying that if we ever wanted to bring a third in, she's our girl. In fact, Lisa and her husband John vouched for her because she had made out with Lisa while jerking John off. And Lisa was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck? The whole situation was just crazy because she turns around and does the same shit to Angie K, talking about, oh, I heard Shonda circle jerks or whatever. Like, bro, what are you doing? But overall, again, season 5, absolutely amazing. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City has just been on a continuous slope and doing awesome. I didn't think they could top season 4, and the way it ended with the proofs receipts, timeline, Heather Gay scene at the end. But they definitely did with that text message scene. And then the reunion was even better. So, alrighty guys, for part 3, of course, we got to talk about some WWE. We haven't talked about WWE together in like 2 weeks. So, we got to update each other real quick. Ever since the Royal Rumble, where we all know Mr. Yeet, Jey Uso won the men's Royal Rumble with Charlotte Flair winning the women's. Jey Uso has officially chosen Gunther to go against at WrestleMania, and I'm super, super excited how they build this story up. If you think about it, Gunther basically forced Jey to pick him with the attack that he did on Monday. So that confirms that whoever wins the Elimination Chamber will be facing Mr. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And for the men's and women's, we have 4 out of the 6 participants confirmed on both sides. Inside, we have Mr. John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul. And on the women's side of things, we have Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Alexa Bliss. Charlotte Flair hasn't chosen who she's going to be going against, but Nia Jax will be facing Tiffy Time for the WWE Women's Championship this Friday on SmackDown. And over on the Raw side of things, Rio will be facing Io Sky for the Women's World Championship the Monday Night Raw after Elimination Chamber. So no Io in the chamber, which is disappointing. We also had AJ Styles transferred over to Monday Night Raw, and this past Monday we got to see him for the very first time since he returned at the Rumble. Dominic Mysterio was surprisingly the one that came out and interrupted him, so they're setting up a match for next week. But as we get that match announcement in the backstage area, we get a stare down between AJ Styles and Braun Breaker. So I would totally be into that being like a WrestleMania match or just an IC title match down the line at any point. That match would definitely cook. Dom Mysterio in the backstage area later on, though, he's talking to Finn about adding a new member potentially. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think they just need to get Finn away from the Judgment Day. They can continue the Judgment Day with Dom and Liv Morgan leading it because it's fine just that way. But now that JD McDonough is out for a while, I think this is the perfect time for them to get Finn out of the Judgment Day and push him back into the singles, a singles run or whatever, because I'm sick and tired of them. It's not like they're burying him intentionally, but it's like, at this point, him being a part of a group is not good for him. He needs to get out of it. If you didn't know, also, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest are both a part of the SmackDown roster. And if you remember from the Royal Rumble, they had a little moment where Damian Priest eliminated Drew McIntyre. And for the last 2 final spots on the men's side of the Elimination Chamber, Priest will be competing in a triple threat match against Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman this Friday. So that will determine the 5th member of the Elimination Chamber. So I'm going to assume that Priest is going to win that so that him and Drew are both in the chamber and continue their little feud on. I could also see them having Jacob Fatu win there, but who knows. And for that 6th spot on the men's side of things, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor next Monday on Raw. So like I said, I wouldn't mind if Finn actually won and got to go to the chamber. But I think Seth's going to win there. And on the women's side of the chamber, yes, we have 4 people already confirmed. The other 2 spots will either be Naomi or Chelsea Green. They will be facing off on SmackDown. And then on the next episode of Raw, we are going to get Roxanne Perez versus Raquel Rodriguez, which I really hope it's Roxanne because she earned that spot after her performance in the Rumble, and I think she'll probably earn her spot in the Elimination Chamber too, because she's on a roll. To start the year, Roxanne, honestly, ever since she won the title last year at Stand and Deliver, Roxanne has just been on a freaking roll, man. Roman Reigns is out indefinitely after that stomp that Seth Rollins did on the steel steps after the Rumble. Solo actually returned on Friday Night SmackDown and attacked Cody. So I'm wondering, is Solo going to be by himself now? Is Jacob Fatu and Tama going to go back with him? Who knows? Street Profits are coming after DIY. So after losing to Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble, we all thought KO would be out for a while, but he showed up to Monday Night Raw after Sami lost to CM Punk in their qualifier match and delivered a package pile driver to Sami. And then we get his explanation following on Friday Night SmackDown being like, you did everything for everyone else. You helped Roman, you helped Jay, you helped them with all that stuff. But when it came to helping me, you did absolutely nothing. And you're going to pay for this. So are we going to get this at Elimination Chamber or are we going to get this at Mania? That's my only question. Because I'm here for it for sure. Team Sami all the way though. And then question, where's Randy Orton? Where's Becky Lynch? Where those 2 been? Because Randy, I need you to clock in, my guy. I need you to clock in for Mania time. And now let's talk about a little bit of things that has happened in NXT, starting off with Ricky Stark showed up in NXT last night. Like, holy shit, literally less than 24 hours after being released, or just over 24 hours after being released from his AEW contract, he shows up in NXT, man. And the absolute. I freaking love it. I'm so excited to see what they do with him. Cora Jade also beat Bayley this past NXT episode to earn a spot into that championship match at Vengeance Day. So now that triple threat with Bayley, Roxanne, and Julia, boom, Cora Jade is inserted to make that a fatal four. That's going to be freaking killer. And we also know that Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, and Obafemi will be competing in a triple threat match at Vengeance Day this Saturday for the NXT title. We're also going to be having a tag team championship match, Fraxium versus Briggs in, I don't know how to say his name, but we got a tag match as well. This day, we're also getting Eddie Thorpe versus Trick Williams in a strap match. Javon Evans was also cleared, so him and Ethan Page will be facing one-on-one this Saturday at Vengeance Day as well. And back to this past NXT Tuesday, we had the main event was Tony D defending his title against Ridge Holland in a steel cage match, which Tony D retains. But Izzy Dane turns on the family, hitting him with the crowbar and then hitting Rizzo with a choke slam. She joins Shawn Spears' team, as we all thought she was trying to get away from Spears, but she's actually joining Spears. So we got the two families going to be going at each other. So that's actually be pretty cool. As always, everyone, thank you so much for joining. That is all we have for today's episode. And don't forget to be keeping tabs.